morning, everyone. In a break from our amazing Ruby on Rails programming, we're going to spend some time today, right now, talking about marketing. I know you immediately want to get up and leave because that word makes you want to vomit probably a little bit in your mouth. But here's the truth. If you want to build a business, you must have customers. And if you want customers, you have to do marketing. Everyone and their brother is trying to start an AI startup right now. It's a very exciting time, and I am here for it. But the world is going to be won and lost on distribution, and marketing builds distribution. First things first, who am I, and why should you care what I have to say? I'm a Ruby on Rails developer turned technical startup founder, and I have kind of run the gamut in success and failure in the startup world. And as I said, I'm a Ruby on Rails dev, like pretty much everyone here. So about a year ago, I started coaching technical startup founders in how to do better marketing. And I keep seeing the same mistakes over and over and over. All of the problems you have are solvable problems, and I wish more people knew that. So in our short time together this morning, we're going to try and short circuit this painful process and help you become a more effective marketer so you can sell your product and make a lot of money. This is going to be a bit of a mindset talk, but also you'll hopefully walk away with some specific things you can do tonight to help your product grow. But Colleen, our product is so good, it speaks for itself. We don't have to do any marketing. Is it? I hope this is true. I hope you are at 1 million ARR, 40 million ARR, if you're Bolt.new, and you didn't have to do any marketing. Like, that would be amazing. But the dirty little secret is it doesn't actually matter where you are in your business. If you're 0 to 1, 1 to 1,000, 1 million to 10 million, you will have to do marketing. You will have to break outside of your network and your hopefully viral tweets to get new customers. And it is never too early to start. So even if you could only spend 1 hour a week, we're looking at building a snowball that turns into an avalanche. So we're trying to do marketing actions that compound over time. So why do technical founders suck at marketing? I think I know why. Because they don't want to do it. Why don't they want to do it? There are a lot of reasons, but I think the biggest reason is it requires a mindset shift. 2 things have to change in your mindset in order for you to be a successful marketer. You have to become a beginner again. It is definitely fair to say that everybody at this conference is an expert at their craft. I have spoken to people who have raised money for their startups. You're a staff software engineer at some phenomenal company. You have open source packages. You are at the top of your game. And when you have to learn a new skill and become a beginner again, that can feel uncomfortable and that can feel icky. And so I'm going to share this quote from an Alex Hillman article. If you don't know who he is, he's spent 20 years teaching developers how to build businesses. And he has a whole article about this. But what he talks about is that it's hard to go back and learn a new skill set when you are so good at the thing you do. You're going to come up with 100 reasons. You're going to sit down to do this new thing, and you're going to come up with 100 reasons why you can't, why your product needs this, why your product needs that. And it's funny because I literally work with these people, right? And these guys will come to me and they'll be like, but this product thing has to be done. I'm like, does it? I mean, maybe it does. I don't know your business. But it's about being honest with yourself about what actually has to get done on the product side and what is going to move the business forward. So you have to keep yourself accountable and kind of fight your own procrastination instincts. And there's one more reason, and marketing is a cycle. So I know you're thinking, maybe not, but you're thinking product design is a cycle, and it is, but marketing is different in that you don't get those same dopamine hits you get when you're talking to customers or you finish a feature. It's a much, much, much longer process. You could be nurturing leads for 6 months, a year, years. I know a very successful startup founder, and she nurtures leads for 3 years. If you sign up for her product, she will follow you around in email for 3 years if you don't unsubscribe. And her business is done phenomenally well. So, marketing is a cycle. What does that cycle look like? This is Colleen's marketing cycle, and we're going to walk through it pretty quickly so we can talk about how you can get better at marketing. Maybe you've heard the term ICP. The first thing you have to do is figure out who you are selling to. Identify your target audience. So, identifying your ICP could be a PhD dissertation. You could easily spend weeks and months just reading article after book about how to identify your ideal customer. It's so easy to get sucked into the theory and not do the work, right? It's about you're feeling busy, which makes you feel productive, but you're not actually doing anything. And so I just want you to really focus on like, what can I do that is practical and actually moves the needle? So what could you do right now? Make a list of real people. This is Apollo. I think Apollo's great. I have an annual subscription. Make a list of actual real people at real jobs with real email addresses. Think about who feels this pain. Who is the decision maker? You can go into Apollo and you can filter. This list I think I filtered by employees. This is, this is owners of irrigation companies with 11 to 50 employees in the United States. And what you want to get is you want to get an actionable list. If you do this and you come to me and you're like, I have this list of 10,000 people, everyone is going to buy my product, you have done it wrong. That is not the game. You want a small list, you want an actionable list of people. Okay, so we have created this list of people. Now what are we going to do? We're actually going to create something for them. This is where your skills as an engineer are really, really, really going to come in handy. Engineering plus what we're doing in AI right now is going to make this part really fun. Your skills are a marketing superpower. You can create mini products to push people towards your main product. We call this engineering as marketing. You get to do something you enjoy that is fun and build a little product. And if you are doing something you enjoy, there's a much higher likelihood you're going to do it over and over and over again. And as I said a few minutes ago, that's the thing about marketing, is you have to do it over and over and over again. So I am going to give you an example of my own product. I have a file uploading service called Simple File Upload, which is essentially file uploading, hosting, serving of files. And one of the things I did is I built an AI virtual try-on Chrome extension. So essentially what this does is it's a Chrome extension. You upload a photo, you go to a website, and there's a little button, and it says try on the clothes. And then the model in the photo tries on the clothes. This was a free tool that drove traffic and dollars to my paid tool. And it did not take me long to make. So what you're looking for is you're looking for the carrot that is appealing to the market, appealing to the people that you want to sell to. High impact, low cost, grow your list, upsell to your product. So for me, in this example, why did this work? This worked for me because I had customers that were already trying to build virtual AI try-on tools. And so I use the Replicate API, which is really fun if you haven't tried it. And they delete files every hour. So the Replicate API gave me the tooling to actually do the try-on, but then the files disappear. So it was such an obvious sell to be like, oh, and here is how you can store those files, and they persist and they never go away. At least, Replicate deletes files after an hour. At least they did. I think they were purchased by Cloudflare like 2 days ago, so who knows. And what we're trying to think of here is like, you want to build these people into your lead pipeline. So if you don't do a tool like I did, so I did a free tool, I did not email gate it, But there are many people, a lot of the AI, GEO, SEO companies these days are doing the put in your email address and we will email you a report, right? We'll email your business's report of how it ranks in the AI search services. They're just collecting your email address to get you into their pipeline. So that's a very good example of providing something people want, getting their email address, and like getting them in your pipeline. So what should you build? I surveyed my software friends, my startup founder friends, and here are 3 examples. Castos, which is a podcast hosting company, has a podcast name generator. GemLogic has a free AI jewelry designer, and JudoScale, which many of you probably know, has a pass pricing calculator. But remember, your engineering skills here are a superpower when it comes to marketing. So, after you have built this wonderful free tool, you must tell the people about the free thing that you built. Or then if you don't, it was a waste of your time. But this is pretty easy, and if you have a marketing person or you have a VA who does your socials, they can handle most of this. You can outsource most of this part. I personally am a big believer in founder-led marketing, and we're really seeing YouTube as a good distribution channel right now. And so I would recommend, like very actionable, go build a little product, do a YouTube video of yourself, cut it up into shorts. There's a million ways you can do that, again, or you could hire someone, and make sure you're putting it on your socials, you're sending out a blog and a newsletter about it. You gotta keep the wheels in motion so people know about the things that you are creating. So what is next? Well, hopefully, I felt like this goes without saying, but I added it. The thing you build has to be good. The thing you build has to build trust. It is getting harder and harder to get people's attention. Like AI, automated outreach, bullshit. I'm sure you guys have gotten those emails, you have gotten those LinkedIn DMs. So you're really trying to build trust here with a good free tool. And then, of course, you want to sell your product. The whole game here is put them in a pipeline to upsell them to your product. Remember, with my virtual try-on app, it was virtual try-on Chrome extension, and it was just such an obvious upsell because their files were deleted. And if the thing, as I said earlier, if the thing is more of a resource, then you're putting them in your email flow. You want to put them in a position where it would be weird if they didn't buy your product. And then, of course, do it again, because remember rule number 2, marketing is a cycle. The tricky thing is the idea is simple, but the continued execution is hard. I probably haven't told you anything you don't know. But actually getting out there and doing it over and over and over can be really hard for some people. And I see like entire teams find excuses while they don't have time for marketing. So let's talk a little bit about how to remove this execution burden. Vibe marketing. I don't know if you guys have heard of this concept of vibe marketing, but it cracks me up because we are seeing all these people come out of the woodwork talking about vibe marketing, and it's just APIs strung together. Like, there's nothing really new here. It's something you're very familiar with. And I mean, I'm here for it. Like, I love a good automation. But as you build out automations, the most important thing to remember as you play with these tools is none of it matters if the end game is bad. If the end outreach is bad, if the blog post is bad, if the video is bad, it doesn't matter what you do with your automations. You might have the most beautiful N8N workflow diagram one has ever seen, but that's not going to matter if the end result is not good. So just keep that in mind. One thing I recommend is you don't automate it until you've done it yourself 12 times. And why 12? Because you're going to remember 12 as opposed to 10. But I recommend this because people get stuck in the tooling stage of these automations. So I'll hear things like, well, my N8N automation isn't working, or the Apollo API pulled the wrong data, or Phantom Buster API did this, that, or the other. And that can be true, but you're probably not there yet until you have nailed your messaging. So whether we're talking cold email, we're talking cold LinkedIn, any kind of marketing content, you need to do it yourself first so you know what resonates with your ideal customer. You want to nail it, and once you nail it, you can automate it. The tooling is not the end game. The customers are the end game. So with that context, I have 2 workflows that I like that you could go set up tonight, and I'm going to share them with you. First, I have this automation. When someone comes to my site and signs up for my service, I search for their email via Apollo API. I pull their LinkedIn data from Apollo, and then I use a Phantom Buster API to send them an automated LinkedIn DM and send myself a Slack message. This is a message I've sent, and I've had really good success with this message. It's not fancy, it's pretty basic, but a lot of people have responded. And a second workflow I've been playing with is content creation, and I know that we all see that everywhere. I have chosen to try to optimize for LLM search, and so this is what I'm doing. This one calls the Data for SEO API, uses OpenAI to create an article. I think I return it in Markdown, convert it to HTML, look at it, and then it auto-publishes to Ghost, my CMS. This one, you got to be careful with AI-generated content. I think it really depends on your business, because I know like developer tooling, like if you are selling directly to developers, you need really high-quality content. That's why I did preface this by saying I'm really trying to optimize for LLM SEO. And with any automation you could possibly want, there are products for it. But again, none of this works if you don't know who you are talking to and know how you are helping them, or if it's obviously AI generated. We are people, and we are marketing to people. Ultimately, people are who you're dealing with. People are the recipients. So what are the big takeaways of this talk? What do I want you to leave this talk with? You already have a marketing superpower. Engineering is marketing. The world is your oyster. You can just build things. You can build a thing in a day or a week in order to push your marketing forward. The #1 reason technical founders quit and say they are bad at marketing is because they just don't want to do it. And they don't want to do it because it makes them feel uncomfortable and icky, because it's a new skill set that they are not an expert at. And they are, as I said earlier, experts at their craft. You don't get those same dopamine hits. You don't get the same, I just spoke to this user. I just pushed this feature. It's a different mind game, and you have to go into it knowing that it's a different mind game. And 3, there's a lot. This vibe marketing stuff, the automations, there's a plethora of examples out there. There's all kinds of fun stuff you can do and you can try, but before you start automating things, make sure the thing you are automating is going to work. So like I said, do it 12 times. If you're sending a LinkedIn DM, send 12 by hand first. See if your message resonates. You want to be in the position where it would be weird if the people you're reaching out to don't buy your product. So, with that in closing, I just want to say go forth and market. I am Colleen. I'm still kind of on Twitter. LinkedIn and email are better ways to reach me. And thank you very much.